How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korban Gaming. Welcome back to a very special DragonFable video, and for today's video we will be talking about DragonFable class tier list inside of the game, and this list is updated as of 23rd May 2020. So DragonFable gets updates every single week, so this tier list obviously isn't permanent and will definitely change in time to come when old classes get a buff, or when current classes get a rework, stuff like that. So another thing I would also like to mention is that this tier list is purely based on my own opinion only. You are free to have your own opinion. If you agree or disagree with this tier list or any of the rankings, do let me know down in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear everyone's thoughts on this. So the first class that we have is of course Angler, and this goes without saying that it is a joke class because there is only one skill, and that is the attack button. So this goes in the F tier list. There really isn't much discussion for that. I think if someone disagrees with this, then please let me know, because I'll be very curious to know why you would put Angler anywhere else other than F. Okay, right, so the next one we have Death Knight. Okay, Death Knight, I would say it has fallen off a lot. It has some stuff from Paladin, some stuff from Necromancer, but it does not have the best things that both classes of it has. It has a bit of this and a bit of that, but it doesn't particularly excel in either of the classes. So in my opinion, I think Death Knight is probably a C. It's really not that strong of a class currently. Maybe it needs a rework. Yeah, I think Death Knight definitely needs a bit of a rework, maybe a little bit of a buff to make him a little bit more useful nowadays. Okay, next one. This one is Ancient Exosuit class. So this class is obviously based off Mech Quest, for those of you guys who don't know. Okay, the artwork is completely based on the Shadow Scythe mecha inside of Mech Quest. And Ancient Exosuit, it actually has its usefulness. Oh, before I forget to point out, which I actually did in the beginning of this video, this tier list, I'm looking at the class as a whole, not specific to bossing, not specific to questing. So both, which means it encompasses everything, both for regular storyline questing, you have your short quest, for long questing, like your maze style quest, and of course for bossing as well. So this tier list is like for overall how the class is when it comes to all three fields on average. Okay, so Ancient Exosuit, well, it's actually quite a strong class because it's a DC class, when it has a lot of defensive capabilities. But that being said, for regular questing, even for warring, I would say it's not that useful because of its long animation. It does have a lot of sustainability in its heal and all that, but I do not think it is quite at the top of S yet. So I'm going to put him in A. If there was an A plus tier, then it's probably A plus. Alright. Next, this class, Dragon Slayer. Wow. Dragon Slayer, he's an S if you're fighting dragons. Anything but dragons, he's a freaking D. Yep, this one, overall I will put him as D, because even though the game is called DragonFable, you might think that you face dragons quite often, which you do sometimes. In book 1, there's plenty of dragons. Book 2 and book 3, not so much. You actually don't really face a lot of dragons. Even for In at the Age of Time, the bosses, there is only one dragon boss, and that is the very first one, which is the Elemental Dragon challenges. So apart from that challenge, all the other bosses so far, yeah, they have not been dragons. So Dragon Slayer is actually not that useful in a game that is called DragonFable. Ironic, isn't it? So yeah, Dragon Slayer unfortunately gets shafted to D because we don't face that many dragons inside of the game. At least not currently. In book 1, yes, you do face them quite a lot, but book 2 and book 3, no, almost none, I would say. So he's a D. And Dimensional Transphaser, this one, he's an April Fool's class, and I wouldn't put him in, why say it's F tier. He has a few moves that you can bounce around and all of that, and do a few more extra hits, but I just think it's not at D tier yet. Maybe an E tier. He's above Angler but not quite at Dragon Slayer tier. So I will go with F, because Dimensional Transphaser honestly don't really have anything other than attack and a few other skills that is basically more attack. So he got nothing else apart from attacks and multi attacks. So Dimensional Transphaser, going to put him as F. Next up, Frost Moglin Armor. Frost Moglin. This used to be one of the best classes in the game because of its high damage output, but right now it has fallen off a little bit. Okay, nonetheless, it's still really useful. It still has a stun, it has your defensive skills. The Spirit Burst is still a very powerful skill that is that has a short cooldown, and that is what makes the Frost Moglin class one of the best classes inside the game. Not at the top anymore, but definitely still a very good class, so A for me. Chaos Weaver. This class is absolutely bonkers. When it first came out, it was absolutely broken OP. Now it's balanced, but it is still extremely strong. So you're basically a glass cannon with Chaos Weaver. You deal a lot of damage, but at the cost of the enemies hitting you more. Most notably with the Soul Gambit skill. So I think Chaos Weaver right now he's an S tier because you also get a little bit of life regen with Chaos Weaver in his Soul Siphon skill. So you do have a bit of sustainability as well. On top of that, you also have your shield skill, which prevents you from dying completely for 3 whole turns, and also prevents you from being stunned if you have the Gambit turned on. So you do have a few defensive options, not many, but you know, I think Chaos Weaver is in a really good spot where it is now a really strong class. Next one, Zabi Slayer. I think that's what this class is called. And this class, it used to be very strong as well, but right now it's completely fallen off and is nowhere near as strong as it used to be. I would put this at C, I guess. Probably in between C and D. But yeah, I think he's a D for now. Not that great of a class currently and could definitely be better. His Zabi Slayer skills are really limited as well. So this class, I think they plan to keep it as a joke or as a seasonal class. Probably won't receive a revamp, but you know, it will be nice to actually see something come out of this, because after all, it did used to be one of the strongest classes inside the game. Next up, we have your regular Doom Knight. Is this the regular Doom Knight? Yes. Okay, regular Doom Knight S class, obviously. You have every single thing that you need inside of Doom Knight. You have super high damage. You have healing skills, which is sustainability. You have a few defensive options. You have huge nukes, huge regular attacks, basically. And yeah, Doom Knight is all around a fantastic class. It is, of course, the most expensive class to get inside the game, and it is a paid class, so not many people have it, but those who do will know how powerful it is. It's not as powerful as Variant 1, or should I say it's not as broken as Variant 1, but it's still one of the top tier classes inside the game. Next one, we have Eternal Epoch. Alright, Eternal Epoch is one of the first Epoch. It is the first Epoch class that we actually get, and Eternal Epoch, I would say, it's a very technical class to use. Okay, you need to know exactly the mechanics, the rotation, the rough rotation for it, if you want to be able to utilize it properly. But if used properly, it is one of the best classes for bossing inside of the game. Outside of bossing, it's honestly not very good for long quests, definitely. So for bossing, this is an S, but for anything else other than bossing, this is probably like a B for questing, for warring, for all that kind of other stuff. Not even B, maybe even C. So Eternal Epoch overall, I will put it as A, because it really does extremely poorly for long quests. You don't have a bursty skill that you can use to burst down smaller enemies, and it takes time for you to ramp up your damage. With Eternal Epoch, you take time to set up the rotations as well, and of course anything outside of bossing, that is completely useless. Okay, so next one we have base rogue class. Okay, this one, I'll say all of the base classes, they are probably at a D tier. Yup, nothing worth explaining right there. It's a base class, so what do you expect? Okay, next one, Katu Adept Armor. Wow, this one, very strong class, both for questing because it has a burst skill, and also for bossing because it has a very strong nuke skill. It has a strong defensive skill that is almost close to being loopable as well. So Katu Adept, definitely S class. Its nuke also inflicts minus 50 evil on the opponent if the opponent manages to survive, and the nuke is one of the strongest inside the game. On top of that, it gets a damage boost similar to Doom Knight, except Slightly weaker than Doom Knight, but nonetheless still a huge damage boost. So definitely a S class, definitely a S tier class right here. Now next one, Tox Slayer armor. This one, again, like with the other seasonal armor like Zabi Slayer, this used to be a very very powerful class. It didn't get nerfed, but with the advent of the new classes that came out and the new classes that got rebalanced, Zabi Slayer, no, I mean Tox Slayer sort of fell off a bit, and right now I would say it's still a strong class, but it's nowhere near as strong as it was before all the other classes got their reworks. So for Tox Slayer, I am inclined to put this as a C tier class right now. Okay, next one we have, this is the regular Chicken Cow armor. The Chicken Cow armor, okay, is the regular version, is not completely useful. Surprisingly, guys. Surprisingly, it's not completely useless. Sorry, I meant to say completely useless. Okay, why do I say this? Because because of the one single skill that it has, the one skill that allows you to hit 12 times. That is what makes this class not useless at all, and that's probably one of its best skills. You know what is even better about that skill? It has no cooldown at all. You can use it every single turn. 12 hits every single turn. That is an insane amount of damage. I can't remember if it's 100% damage, but I think it's a little bit lesser, right? Because that's like 1200% damage each turn. That's insane. I think it's lesser than 100% damage, but anyways, that skill does a huge amount of damage. And if you're using like boosted weapons, like say if you're facing a dragon, you're using some dragon blade, or you're using a growth tender for a bonus against like other enemies, damage bonus against other enemies that it has a trigger on, then man, Chicken Cow armor is actually quite good because of that 12 hit skill. Because of this, I would put Chicken Cow armor in tier D. Yeah, he's not F, but he's D. Because of that, he's D. If not for that skill, Chicken Cow armor would be a F, definitely. Next one, we have Ascended Chicken Cow armor. This is out of the 3 Chicken Cow armors, this is obviously the best one yet, and it's of course the strongest Chicken Cow armor of all the 3. It has a really good it has some really good skills. You have sustainability, you have nuke, you have buff, and you have debuffs as well. So it has all of the good things that you want in a class, but it doesn't shine in any particular area. It's not particularly offensive, it's not particularly defensive, it's not super good for bossing, it's not super good for questing, but it's not super poor at any of those things either. So because of this, I will put Ascended Chicken Cow as a B tier class. Alright. Next we have Archivist, another calendar class. So Archivist, once again, is another very technical class. In fact, I would say most or all of the calendar classes all require quite a bit of technical knowledge if you want to use them to their full potential. For someone who knows how to use Archivist, it's actually a really strong class because of the 5-turn skill that, because of the skill that gives you 5 turns. You just have so many options to boost your damage, and this class actually relies heavily on the regular attack button and of course its other skills to boost its regular attack. So this is actually a really good class because of that 5-turn, of that skill that gives you 5 turns, and the enemy cannot avoid it. It's not a stun, so you just get extra flat out 5 turns, and that is crazy. So in my opinion, I think Archivist, for someone who knows how to use it to its full potential, is an S class. Next we have, this is I believe this is Shadow Hunter, right? Shadow Hunter, it's a combo class. Okay, not many combo classes in the game, and Shadow Hunter, it's good in the sense that it has basically everything that you want. Okay, you have buff, debuff, shield, heal, every single skill that you want in a class, you have it inside of Shadow Hunter. But the problem with this class is that it takes combos to set up. It's one thing to remember the combos, but even if you do, to be able to use them effectively in battle, for boss battles, for questing, yeah, it's not that great. It doesn't shine in any particular area either, and of course it takes quite a long time to set up, and even then with the setup, the skills aren't that strong. So I am actually going to put Shadow Hunter at C tier because what can I say, it needs a rework, a little buff in my opinion. Alright, next up we have the regular Pumpkin Lord. armor. Regular Pumpkin Lord is a seasonal armor that only comes around during Mogloween, and regular Pumpkin Lord, I would say that it is I wouldn't say it's a bad armor, it's not fantastic armor either. Evolved Pumpkin Lord is way better than regular Pumpkin Lord. So for the regular Pumpkin Lord, again, it doesn't shine in a particular area, but it covers all of the aspects that you generally want inside of a decent class. So because of this, I'm going to put Pumpkin Lord as C tier. Next, this one, what is this class even? I believe it's Dragon Rogue. Dragon Rogue, for the dragon based classes, I would say all of them are probably at C tier. Again, they have most, okay, the dragon based classes, they don't have everything you want in a class. Some of them have some things, but and they don't really have a bunch of other things, but the dragon based classes, I feel like they are not that strong, so I am inclined to put them as a C tier. Alright, so we'll get to the other dragon based classes later. Let's just go through this in order. Next up, we have the Evolved Pumpkin Lord. Evolved Pumpkin Lord, way better than your regular Pumpkin Lord, and it's actually quite a good class to use. But I don't feel that Evolved Pumpkin Lord is quite an A tier yet. He's probably at B tier, right beside Ascended Chicken Cow. He has a lot of things that you want inside, almost everything that you want inside of a good class, but the fact that it's a seasonal rare, and on top of that, the fact that you it does not excel in a particular area makes me feel that it's only a B tier class. Alright. Next one, we have this one is, what is it called? Is it Snuggle Panda? Yeah, Snuggle Panda. This is probably F, I would say. Yeah, F class. Sorry, this one pretty much a joke class, I would say, not even that great. Now, next one, we have another DC class. This is Entropy. Entropy, it's not an S tier, but it's A tier for me. Entropy, you're basically playing around with dots and powerful dot-like attacks. Okay, you have your final skill, which combines a nuke and a star into one. That's really neat. You have your shield skill, which is not a very strong shield skill. It's only like 80 defense, but you get a whopping 70% damage boost along with it as well. So Entropy, not a weak class, definitely a very strong class, but it's still not able to compete with the power level of the very best classes inside the game, in my opinion. Next one, another calendar class. Alright, this one we have Shadow Walker of Time. Shadow Walker of Time is, okay, sorry, this is called the Snuggle Bear armor, not the Snuggle Panda armor. I was confused, guys. Okay, anyways, now we move on to Shadow Walker of Time. Shadow Walker of Time is a calendar class, and again, it's a very technical class to use, but I feel that it is a very strong class. I don't know if I want to put him in S tier, because Shadow Walker of Time, it comes with 2 finals, and I am actually quite a big fan of that, and it's one of the calendar classes that are more highly sought after. In fact, I would really like to get a Shadow Walker of Time myself. Unfortunately, I'm unable to find a calendar code anywhere. So if any of you guys know of some place where I can get a calendar, then do hit me up, because I do want the Shadow Walker of Time class. Again, I don't want just the code, because that is not in line with Artix Entertainment's game terms, so I can't just buy the game code. So if anyone knows where I can buy a, I believe this is 2016 calendar, I can't remember. Yeah, so if anyone knows where I can buy a calendar for this class code, do let me know, because I'm interested in purchasing one to get this class. And if there was an A plus tier, I'll put this in an A plus tier, but honestly, I think Shadow Walker of Time, yeah, I'm comfortable putting him in the S tier, because Shadow Walker of Time, you do get quite a lot of good stuff, and I really like the Umbral mechanics of Shadow Walker of Time. I think it's a very versatile class. You can use it offensively, and you can use it defensively as well. So Shadow Walker of Time definitely up there alongside all of the other best classes inside of the game. Next one, Master Soul Weaver. Master Soul Weaver, similar to a lot of the other classes on this list, it does well in all aspects, but it does not excel in any particular aspect. That being said, it does slightly above average than most other classes. So I would put Master Soul Weaver inside of the A tier. Chrono Corruptor. This one, one of the earlier calendar armors to come out, and honestly, it is quite a disappointment. So Maybe they could update it to today's standards, then that will make it better. So I will put Chrono Corruptor as C. Okay, next one, Snuggle Panda. Sometimes I wonder why this class exists. No, don't get me wrong, don't nerf this class. I don't have it, but you know, I hate to see anything being nerfed inside the game. Honestly, that's just me. So don't nerf the class because I said this, but I think Snuggle Panda is really one of the strongest classes inside the game. It's meant to be a joke class, but for some reason it turned out super duper strong. Like his final attack skill, his regular attacks, and then you get the insane buff as well. It's just crazy. Like you can do almost any boss with Snuggle Panda because of its ridiculously high damage output. And on top of that, I think you get a heal also with Snuggle Panda. So this is quite a crazy class and definitely one of the top tier classes inside the game, even though it was meant to be a joke class. Alright, next one, Technomancer. After its revamp, Technomancer is actually surprisingly viable and it's a surprisingly good class. So Technomancer, for now, I would actually say it's an A class. Yes guys, be surprised. Technomancer is an A class and it's a really good class, especially for free-to-play players. If you guys have don't know of this guy called NDA Gaming, you guys should check him out. He does some fantastic DragonFable strategy boss fight videos for non-Dragon Amulet holders only. I used to do that in the past before I got a Dragon Amulet, like covering NDA stuff, but you know, now that I've gotten a Dragon Amulet, I can cover all the content I want. He's still covering NDA content, so I think that's really nice, especially boss strategy. So if you're an NDA, then go ahead and check him out. And he uses Technomancer primarily. I am not a very good user of Technomancer. Before the revamp, I know how to use it. After the revamp, not so much. With all the heat level and the drive boost level, I'm not super clear on the mechanics, so I'm not the best at using the class, but I think that the class is a very strong class nowadays. And honestly, this is one of, if not my favorite class design in all of DragonFable. I absolutely fell in love with the class's artworks the first time I saw it. Like, look at that, it's freaking amazing artwork. But you know, this tier list isn't based on the class artwork at all, but I just wanted to point this out that Technomancer has one of the best class artworks in the game, in my opinion. Right, next time we have Pirate and your Dread Pirate. Okay, both are the same. For Pirate class, honestly, I don't see it being used very often, and I am not such a big fan of it, so I would give it a C tier. Like, it doesn't excel in any particular area, and it doesn't have any noteworthy skills. So it's actually a C tier class in my opinion. Next one, we have Icebound Revenant, another DC class. Okay, Icebound Revenant is very good for users, for monsters with high resistance. Because of its one skill, you can bypass all of the resistance completely and make you do ice damage. Combine that with Ice Scythe and you got yourself a winner. Okay, so Icebound Revenant also has a skill that reduces your opponent's damage to completely 0 for the next turn. So it's actually a really strong class. But is it S tier yet? Yes, I'll actually say yes. You can dish out a lot of crazy damage with Icebound Revenant as well, if you know how to get the combos going, how to reduce the enemy's resist and all that. So I'll actually put Icebound Revenant at S tier. Okay, that being said, it is a little bit situational when it comes to boss fights, and it is particularly useful against bosses with high resist. That is starting to become a bit of a trend nowadays. So this is why I feel that right now Icebound Revenant deserves the S tier spot. If we start to not see monsters with so much all resist or high resistances, then maybe Icebound Revenant would drop down to A tier. Alright, next, this what is this class? I cannot tell. What is this class? Let's skip that class. Oh, that's the Epoch class, right? Okay, we'll go through this first. Doom Epoch, the second Epoch class to come out. This one, instead of the Eternal Epoch, you have a bit more burst, okay, instead of the regular Epoch, and this makes it slightly better for general questing, but because of that, it makes it not that great for bossing. Okay, it's still good for bossing, but I feel that because they did this to make it up a little bit so that you can quest with the Epoch class, it doesn't excel in one particular area. It doesn't excel in bossing, at least not when compared to Eternal Epoch. but it also doesn't excel in questing either. So I'm actually going to put Doom Epoch at B tier, okay? Now, the newest Epoch class, the Eternal Epoch, this one, I honestly don't know what this class is really meant to do. I don't have the class. Okay, so looking at the skills, I would say this honestly, I don't know what this class is meant for doing. Like, is it meant to be an offensive class? Is it meant to be a defensive class? Is it meant for bossing? Is it meant for questing? Yeah, I honestly don't know. It's like in a weird spot right now. Nobody really said anything about it. I guess the power level of this class is quite sufficient with respect to the other classes, but it just doesn't excel in any particular area. That being said, it's not a weak class because the time shift skill now gives you straight up 9 turns of momentum, and that's just insane. So I think this class is probably right beside Doom Epoch, and it's one of the classes whereby you don't know what you want to do with it. So I can't really give it a higher rating than this because of that. Okay, next one we have your Avatar of Time. This class is also another class that I really like the artwork of, and I think it's a really good class. Honestly, it's another calendar class. You have a skill that reduces your opponent's awe, and the nuke for this class is unavoidable. That is what makes it so good. The nuke is super strong and it's unavoidable. On top of that, you have a skill that can either buff or debuff your opponent before you use the nuke. So this is actually quite an insane class, and it's one of the better calendar classes out there. I don't think it's right up there with Archivist and Shadow Walker of Time, but it's still very strong. If there was an A plus tier, this would be in the A plus tier, but because there isn't one, I will put this in the A tier right now. Next one, this one we have Dragon Mage. Okay, so for the dragon based classes, like I said earlier, they are probably only C tier to me. Okay, Ranger class. Ranger class is a class that is usually quite overlooked and underrated in my opinion, but I think Ranger is very strong. It's essentially like an Epoch class whereby you can make use of the double turns mechanic. You get a very strong dot, and then you have the nuke is okay. It's not the strongest nuke in the game, but you have a very strong healing skill as well. You have some defensive skills, and if you know how to use Ranger properly, which I have quite a few videos whereby I use Ranger to do the in-challenge boss fights, Ranger actually is a very, very strong class, and because of this reason alone, I'll put him in the A tier. For general questing and warring, he is not the best, but he still does decently well because of his nuke, which you can activate on turn 1. Okay, so Ranger in A tier. Base Mage D tier, this goes without saying. Now, Riff Walker, this is Ascendant class. This is no, not Ascendant class. Italian class. Okay, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but yeah. Okay. Riff Walker, it got a small buff recently. Like I forgot if it was a buff or a rework, but anyways, it is now a little bit more on par with the other two classes. Compared to the other two Italian classes, Riff Walker I would say is the weakest out of the three, sadly, and that is also one of the reasons why I swapped from being a base warrior to a base mage. Is solely because of this Italian class. Okay, so Riff Walker, it has really good burst damage, but after the initial burst, you don't have much else going for it. For weaker bosses or mini bosses or regular questing, Riff Walker is a very good class. In fact, one of the best. But for long bossing, he doesn't excel there because you have 0 sustain with this class, and after your initial burst of damage, you take quite a long time to recover before you can actually dish out all of your damage again. So that makes me feel that Riff Walker is actually only a B tier class, sadly. Okay, next up we have Chronos Z. This is essentially a slightly better version of Shadow Hunter. Okay, a slightly beefed up version of Shadow Hunter, but everything else is basically the same. Because of this, I would still put it in C. This is above Shadow Hunter, but not at B tier yet in my opinion. So this class could... I like the idea of combo classes whereby they incorporate every single skill that you could want into a class, but because of that, the skills take a long time to set up and they are not the best in their category. So it's still a C in my opinion, better than Shadow Hunter, but you know, not good enough to be a B tier. Next one, this one, Dragon Warrior class. Okay, Dragon Warrior, same as the other dragon based classes, they are at C tier. Not that fantastic, honestly. So yeah. Okay, Time Killer, another calendar class. Okay, Time Killer, again, it has 2 finals, but I think it is just a little bit weaker than Avatar of Time. But I do not think it's a B tier class. I think it's above B tier. Okay, so I'll put this in a low A tier, probably a A minus for Time Killer. That being said, it's not a weak class, but it is not one of the strongest classes either for the A tier. Okay. Ninja Armor. Okay, Ninja Armor is actually a very defensive armor and relies heavily on dots to deal damage to your opponent. So because of that, it's not particularly good in quests. Okay, you do have quite a lot of sustain with all of the defensive skills that you have. It's more of for bossing, and I think it's like similar to Ranger. I think it's quite an overlooked class. It's very underrated, and its defensive capabilities make it actually really good class. It's not meta, unfortunately, so I would say Ninja is probably a B tier now. Ninja is honestly quite close to an A tier, similar to Riff Walker, but I feel that it's just not at that level yet, not at the Ranger or Technomancer level yet. So I'm going to put Ninja as a B tier class. Alright, Base Warrior, you have this at D, obviously. Ninja Munkee, a joke class. Okay, again, this would be at, I don't know. Okay, I stand corrected. The base classes are F. Yeah, the base classes are F. Ninja Munkee, I'll put him as probably F as well. Yep, F. Sadly, you just can't. I just can't put this any higher. Like, it doesn't have anything going for it. Okay, next one we have Doom Knight Variant 1, the most broken class inside of the game for obvious reason, because of that one single skill. And of course, the highest damage output in the game. You have your sustainability, you have healing, you have buff, you have debuff. So because of that one soul carve skill, is S tier. Top of the list, S tier. The best class inside the game, Doom Knight Variant 1, because of soul carve. Soul carve is so ridiculously OP. Like, you steal 15% of the enemy's HP regardless of whether you hit him or not. And that is just an insane skill. So against bosses with very high HP, just spam this skill. It's an instant win button. That's it. So yeah. Next one. You have your what do you call this class? I forgot. You have Riff Walker, you have Cryptic, you have oh my gosh, this is the rogue version of the Italian class. I can't remember the name momentarily. Cryptic, yep, Cryptic is called Cryptic. Okay. Cryptic is actually one of the strongest Italian classes. In fact, out of the 3, I think right now, in the current meta, Cryptic might be the strongest. You have a lot of defensive skills and you do a lot of critical damage, which means overall a very, very high damage output. So I think Cryptic is actually S tier. Yeah guys, for the current meta right now, because of how much defensive skills it has and how much damage output it can do from its crits, Cryptic is S tier. Okay. Next one, Guardian. Guardian. Oh my gosh. Where do I even begin? Guardian, it has skills that looks good on paper, but when you use it, it's like literal trash. I don't know why. That's just how I feel. Like, the skills, they don't look too bad on paper, but when I actually use the class, it's like very you know, it really falls flat of expectations that you get from a Guardian class. Maybe that's why Guardians inside of the game are like freaking useless and always require our hero to clean up their shit, you know what I mean? So yeah, Guardian class probably a C tier. Okay. Next one, this one is Chronomancer, the first calendar class that ever came out inside of the game. Okay. A slightly weaker version of Chrono Corruptor. I will put this as C tier as well. Okay, Chronomancer is not quite D tier, but again, it's a very weak calendar class because it's the very first calendar class that came out. And back then, you weren't having classes of these power levels yet. So back then, I guess Chronomancer had an acceptable level of power, but right now, it has just fallen off completely. Okay. Next one, Soul Weaver. Okay, Soul Weaver. I'm going to assume you have the artifact, because without the artifact, Soul Weaver is maybe a B class. With the artifact, Soul Weaver is like an A, maybe even an S class. Okay, Soul Weaver did receive a nerf, so because of that, it's not S anymore. Belltail Soul Weaver isn't S anymore, but Belltail Soul Weaver is still very, very strong nonetheless, and I'll put Belltail Soul Weaver as an A class, A plus class if you will. Okay, so definitely use it if you can get the artifact. Grinding for the artifact isn't that difficult. It does take a bit of time, but once you get it, then you keep it forever. So Belltail Soul Weaver, definitely one of the stronger classes out there. Comparing this with Master Soul Weaver, Belltail Soul Weaver is above Master Soul Weaver. So you have the choice between the both of them, then definitely use Belltail Soul Weaver over Master Soul Weaver. Right. Nearing the end very soon. Okay, we have Ascendant, okay, which is the last out of the 3 of the Italian classes that I'm going to cover. Ascendant has ridiculously high damage output, but not much else going for it. That being said, the damage output is so freaking insane. Like, and you can sustain it for a long period of time. It's not like Riff Walker whereby you just burst it and then you need a time to cool down before you can actually use it again. Ascendant, you can, after your initial setup, you can just keep looping over and over and over again, and you just get ridiculously high amount of damage. Unfortunately, you don't get anything else other than high damage. The defensive skills are honestly fell off quite flatly, but the damage is insane. So because of that reason alone, I'm going to have to put Ascendant at S tier. Okay. Next up, we have Dragonlord, one of the most defensive classes inside of the game. Dragonlord honestly has a lot of good defensive skills, but for questing and bossing, it is for questing it's not fantastic. For bossing, it's pretty good, definitely if you want to sustain and if you want to play a game of attrition with the boss. But you know, you can't survive. You have to kill the boss eventually. So I am not that big of a fan for defensive classes. Nonetheless, it's still a very strong class and can stand up to like 90% of the bosses inside of the game. It will probably only get beaten down by the toughest of bosses, and I'm talking about the some of the in bosses right here. So Dragonlord, in my opinion, he is still an A class. He's not at S tier yet, but he's a very, very strong A. Okay, Necromancer. Necromancer used to be a lot better. Necromancer and Necroparagon, same thing. Okay, it used to be a lot better, even to the point of being OP, but after the Necromancer nerf, which was sometime after the Legion Crawler came out, Necromancer sort of fell flat, and right now I feel that Necromancer isn't as good as it should be, so I'm going to put Necromancer in the C tier. It's still a good class, but it's not really nowhere near its glory days. Back before the nerf, Necromancer would have easily been an A tier, but right now I think that in its current spot it is in the C tier. Okay, next up we have GPS. GPS, I'll put it at D. It hasn't gotten a real rework yet. Like, it has a few okay skills, but you know, nothing much going for it. Would I say it's better than the Blaze classes? You know what, actually I don't think so. So GPS gonna be a F until they actually rework it and come out with something good for it. It is a DC class, so I hope that they come out with a revamp for this soon, because honestly GPS is quite trashy right now. Like, previously there used to be a glitch whereby you could walk slightly faster in GPS. That was the only reason why people bought it, but right now I don't know if they fixed the glitch or not, so it's kind of useless. Ninja Munkee, same as Pirate Munkee, nothing much to say about it. Pyromancer, a DC class that is quite weak. Okay, it relies heavily on dots for its main source of damage. You get a full heal skill, which is nice, but again, it's not really the meta now, and it's for questing obviously not good because you need time to set up your damage. Even against bosses, he doesn't do fantastically well. So I think Pyromancer definitely needs a bit of a buff if you want to see more people using it, and if you want him to be a more useful DC class. So right now I'm going to put Pyromancer in C currently, because I feel that it has a lot of potential, but you know, right now it just fell flat. Okay, next up we have the Evolved Chicken Cow, and Evolved Chicken Cow is actually worse than your regular Chicken Cow in my opinion, because you don't have the 12 hit spammable skill anymore. In exchange, you get a bunch of other okay skills, but you know, compared to the other classes, it's still not that fantastic. So I will put Evolved Chicken Cow at D. And last but not least, we have Paladin, the king of survivability. Paladin is really good for tanking out bosses, and for any boss fight they need to go like over 100 turns with or something crazy like that. Paladin is your go-to class. You have unlimited survivability with all of its healing skills, and it does really good damage against undead as well. Because of this reason, I will give Paladin the A tier. And that's it guys, sorry for this super long video. That is my class tier list for all of the classes inside of DragonFable as of 23rd May 2020. Let me know what you guys think below. Do you agree or disagree? I'm really interested to hear your comments, and if you like this sort of video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to this channel for more such future content. Till the next time, I'm your host Korriban Gaming. Peace out.